Hello, you are listening to the Mets in the UK podcast, your home for Mets content in the UK. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, or good podcast hosts. You can find us on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads and X, at Mets in the UK, or using the hashtag MITUK to get involved. It's been a while since I've done this, so I've had to read that from the script. So, I'm back, taking a break from the studies on my master's just to say hello and talk all things Mets. I'm still on X, just in the background, in between hacking sessions, which is good fun. So this evening, joined full crew. Everyone's here. Evening, Tracey. How are you?
I'm good. I'm still buzzing from Howie last week.
Yes. What an episode. Amazing listen.
know.
Also joined by the lovely Joe. How are you doing, Joe?
I'm all good, thank you. I'm like to think that Howie's morphed into us two, Tom. So it's got to be better than him.
Obviously.
Yeah. Although he has the gift of the gab, something I am severely lacking.
Yeah.
Also joined by our night owl, Tor. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good, thank you. Kind of. Stop it. I'm here for a change.
Yes, well done. Right, so let's get the boring stuff out of the way because we are in the non-glamorous part of the off season, the part where all of the back office hires have been pretty much all made. We've had a few sort of contracts finishing and a few depth players, for lack of a better word, been signed. So let's rattle through those and then we can talk about that. So coaching staff wise, John Gibbons, who was our bench coach last year, resigned. He's been replaced by Kai Correa. Third base coach, Tim Leeper, has replaced Mike Sarbaugh. Pitching coach, the Hef, has gone. He's gone to the Braves with Richardson. Boo. Shame on them. He's been replaced by Justin Willard. Good news for many. Chavez and Barnes have gone from the hitting department. He has been replaced by Jeff Albert, who last year was the Mets Director of Hitting Development. He's been internally promoted. The rest of them are external hires. We've also got a hitting coach, Troy Snitka, who's been hired to work under Jeff Albert. So those are the changes. Still missing a first base coach by all accounts, but I'm sure that'll come at some point. Not a glamorous role. It will get filled at some point. Also, player-wise, we've had a few outgoings. So Pete Alonso has declined his player option for 2026. Edwin Diaz has also declined his player option for 2026, but the Mets have given him the qualifying offer, which I believe this year is 22 point something million. Quite a hefty number for a reliever by all accounts. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. To the surprise of no one, Frankie Montas accepted his player option. So we're stuck for the year. Woohoo. Brooks Raley, the team decided to take out their option on him, which is very good news. AJ Minter accepted his player option. That's been signed. The Mets turned down their option on Drew Smith, so he is now finally gone. And then there's been a couple of others that have elected free agency, including Griffin Canning, Ryan Housley, Tyler Rogers, Stanek, Gregory Soto. Made sure I said don't want to get anyone. Starling Marte, Cedric Mullins, Jesse Winker, and Nick Madrigal, who he has all gone with the others. Obviously, Madrigal being the new Jed Lowry, playing a couple of minutes at the Met, and then disappearing off injured, never to play again. There's been a couple of incomings. So Joey Gerber, a right-handed pitcher, has been acquired from the Rays for our good friend, cash considerations. Jose Castillo, a right pitcher, claimed off waivers from the Orioles. Minor league signing, Jose Rojas, an infielder and outfielder, seems to be a bit of a utility man, previously with the Angels. And then last but not least, the Mets have picked up Ji Hwan Bae, an outfielder who's been claimed off waivers from the Pirates. bit of a controversial one. This Bay has a domestic violence charge from back when he was 18. Obviously, not condoning that kind of behavior. At the same time, people can change. See where that one goes. Who knows? I think been a bit of a controversial one. It's split Mets fans because on the one hand, we've got Mets fans who are very pro Jose Reyes, who's got a similar charge, and then people rightly outraged that we've picked him up. On a more positive note, that's it from all of the incomings and the happenings. Like I said, there's nothing glamorous. We've not had a Juan Soto kind of signing that we can all get behind and get excited about. But what are your thoughts? Not yet. Yet. It's still November. It's November 11th. Happy Remembrance Day, everyone. We've got a long way to go. It's not the 11th of February, so we're not going to hit the panic buttons yet.
Yeah.
But we'll start with Little Miss Positive. Tor, what are your thoughts on the incomings and outgoings?
So if we start with the coaches, I know you think that it's not glamorous.
It's not.
But it is, you know, I'm a little biased working in support functions in my own organization. But support functions are important, people. Look after your support functions. So it's true. So it's key to have the right people there. I think that it had to be kind of clean house after last year, and we talked about that right at the end of the season. So it's not a surprise that so many have gone. And you know, when Gibbons retired, he was quite pragmatic about it and said, you know, he thought that Mendoza needed to have, you know, that younger team around him and to be able to have, you know, his people there. So that wasn't necessarily a surprise. Hef going to the Braves, not so fussed about that, but Richardson going is just like, ouch. And the talk was that they just couldn't agree on the money. So he had a value of himself and the Mets didn't match it. Now, obviously, we don't know what those numbers were. And it's a business. Ultimately, it doesn't matter how much money you have. You've got to, I don't think they were going to, you know, perhaps it came to they felt like they were being held to ransom and they wouldn't do it. So, you know, you've got to respect a business decision. Whether it's going to end up being the best decision in the long run is a different matter. I like that we've had an internal promotion just to keep a little bit of consistency. He must have shown some good things to kind of to be brought in when everyone else has been brought in externally. So, you know, I think just to get that first base coach, I'd rather them get that sorted sooner rather than later, because it is the off season and we're not at spring training yet, but the guys will be going through drills. They'll be doing work. They'll be working on their own programs. So I think it's important for them to get that in place so that they can be having conversations, because they will be. As far as the players go, I'll save the whole Diaz and Alonso thing once that, you know, the group's ready to discuss that. I was delighted that we picked up Rayleigh's option because, as you all know, I was kind of singing his praises quite a lot through last season. So I'm really pleased that he's back. For the other free agents, I really hope to see Griffin Canning back, whether that's a popular opinion or not. We know that he had a really good start with us until he got injured. So I'd like to see us give him another shot. Halsey and Rogers, I'm surprised that there wasn't something kind of pre-agreed. I almost expected them to have something lined up already with us under the circumstances of when and how they signed. And of course, we need Winker's energy back. Ideally, he's a tricky one because it's almost like this year's this year's Jose Iglesias, where we do we need him on the roster? I would argue at this point, with no one else there, yes. But for the energy, certainly, I think I'd love to see him back. I'll understand if he doesn't come back though. And Marte, I don't expect to see him back. And for the most part, the others, Pete and Diaz aside, no surprises, no issues with not seeing them back. Feel a little bit sorry for Madrigal.
Who?
Yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate.
Unicorn.
It was unfortunate.
No one wants to be in the Jed Lowry club. Let's face it. It's
No.
not a place you want to be. Okay, Joe, how about you? What are your thoughts?
Most of those kind of coachy ones, I'm a bit meh about. I get them gone. They're useless last year, aren't they? Most of them. That's
Clearly.
shit.
Don't mince your words, Joe.
Although, like Tor said, Antoine Richardson, glad to see him go to the Braves, and it's weird that was about money. That just seems surely they could have got it done because he brought a whole new string to our bow last season with all the stolen bases because we've never been good at that.
He really did.
So I wonder if we'll if anyone does come in, I wonder if we'll carry on with that theme of stealing bases because we got quite good at it, didn't we? It's that was good to see. So yeah, that was weird. And then Pete and Diaz will come back to you. But in terms of the other guys, I mean, Mullins, he was a bit rubbish in the end, wasn't he?
Even getting started. Take hands off my tie.
At that list, though, I kind of want to see Tyler Rogers back because I think he had something we could work with again. So it'd be good to see him back. And Jesse, if we can get fit Jesse Winker and not sat on the bench sidelines Jesse Winker, but obviously that would bring some. If we can get some good vibes going again, because as we know, that was missing a lot of the end of the season. So there's those. I'm glad they had a bit of a clear out basically because we needed it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right in regards to like Winker and some of the other players that maybe didn't have the best year. It does help the team from a financial perspective. You can offer them a more team-friendly kind of deal. I don't think there's going to be as many people in on them, especially if they're coming off the back of injuries. So maybe that's one to keep an eye on later on, as we approach sort of spring training, those kind of players still available. Like when we signed JD Martinez, that was a late one. I wouldn't be surprised if we had someone like that, like Winker, come back on a team-friendly deal just for a year. It boosts their stock more than anything, but it helps us as well at the same time. Tracey, how about you? Any thoughts?
Just to sort of reiterate what the others have said, I'm really disappointed that Antoine Richardson's gone. The others were a bit meh. But given the news that's sort of come out unofficially from MLB about all teams losing a lot of money, maybe things are like even Steve with his unlimited checkbooks having to tighten the belt a little bit and try and plug the losses a bit. And if that's where he's decided to do it, then like Toria said, it's a business at the end of the day and it's got to be run like one. As much as we'd like Steve to splash the cash everywhere, he can't do that.
They can't put the price of the beer up any higher, can they? So it's kind of somewhere.
As I say, we're going to come back to the Silver Slugger winning Pete Alonso in a bit. Pleased about the pickup again of Rayleigh. Montas is a bit whatever. The thing about G1 Bay, like you say, hopefully he's learnt his lesson. I know with Jose Reyes, he did go through a lot of counselling, couples counselling as well as individual. So hopefully he's gone through something similar and has learned from it. And if he was when he was young, hopefully he's a different person now. Those that have gone, not that bothered, other than Winker. I liked Marte, but he was injured a lot, getting older. And I think we just need some fresh faces, because if you keep doing the same thing over and over, you're going to get the same results, and that can't keep happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're spot on with that, Tracy. I think I can't remember whether I said it on here or whether I posted it on X, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a few more of those internal sort of promotions, opportunities, and chances given with some of the talent that we have down in the minor leagues. Like you mentioned, all MLB teams seem to be tightening the belt. 1.85 billion is a lot of money to lose across the entire league. Mets obviously 350 million down. I know we joke about the price of the beers, but you know, even though Steve is wealthy, there comes a point, and I think we saw this with Richardson, is that you've just got to draw a line and say, no, we're not going to continue to be taken for a ride. And I think that's one of the reasons why we'll see more of the farm appear next year. I don't think we're going to see any big signings like we did last year. But I also think as well, kind of what you were just talking about there, about the same old thing and madness. Under Cohen, the Mets have tried multiple times to sign superstars in multiple positions and have stacked. We saw Verlander and Scherzer, and we've seen other sort of combinations of superstars thrown together, and it just doesn't seem to work for the Mets. I'm not saying it doesn't work because the Dodgers managed to do it, but it's one of those where I think you kind of have to look at it and go, all right, he's been here 5 years now. We've tried this strategy on more than one occasion, on more than one season, and the Mets are not playing like a team. We're not seeing them as a cohesive unit. There's plenty of other teams that make the postseason. They've not got the most jazzy players, but because they're all playing together and for each other, they're getting further in to that off season. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Mets go down that route, if anything, just to try it and see if it works. Another thing to bear in mind as well is that we are entering the near point of another collective bargaining agreement that's on the horizon. And I feel like this is also going to have an impact on this off season and the kind of deals we're seeing for players, because they're going to want to lock themselves in long term, because we don't know if we're going to get another lockout, and we don't know what the potential changes are going to be from MLB. The cynic in me doesn't think it's a bit of a surprise that they've released this figure about teams losing money, knowing that this collective bargaining agreement is coming. I wonder whether, I mean, what do you guys think? Could we see MLB bring in a salary cap in a bit more of an aggressive format than we currently have, or at least try? Toria's shaking her head straight away, but like attempt to, because clearly from this data being leaked about how much money the league's losing, I think they're sowing the seed for like, we need to try and do something about this. Oh, here's a salary cap that's way more aggressive than what we've already got. Obviously, the players' union's not going to take it. But I mean, what do you guys think? Is that something you can see Manfred trying to do?
Ask the Dodgers.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's reason number one why they won't do it. That is reason number one. They're not going to do anything to upset the Dodgers. Reason number two, it's not worth the fight, because it won't get through. They're not going to have a lockout over a salary cap because they know that it's unrealistic. And reason number three, they will always find a way around it. They'll do deals like the Ohtani deal, right? Yeah. They'll find there will be. It's not going to work in any way, shape, or form. So I see where you're coming from, and but the organization owners are business people. They have to have control of their business. That's on them to do, not for MLB to do for them, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair. I just thought it was worth mentioning because there has been a few sort of discussions around this, not necessarily from Mets people, but just MLB people in general. There is a growing concern about this collective bargaining agreement. Like I said,
I just get chills anytime I hear collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah, yes. We've all been there, haven't we? And
yeah,
I don't think it's going to be a Mets specific problem. I think across the league, we're going to see some very interesting deals this off season with players and length or money. It's going to be a weird off season, that's for sure. Okay, yes. Before we come back to Pete and Edwin Diaz, just a reminder, if you're enjoying the content, give us a like, give us a comment, subscribe, follow, share, tell everyone, shout it from the rooftops. We do appreciate it. Shout out to everyone that listened last week to the Howie Rose podcast. If you've not listened to it yet, go and check it out. Toria and Tracey did an amazing job with Howie. It's on YouTube, all good, Spotify, podcasting hosts. You can find it everywhere.
I was all Howie.
Listen.
Yes, we love Howie.
And we appreciate all the feedback we've received as well. Some lovely comments and things from you guys that have tuned in and listened. So we appreciate each and every one of you. We don't take this for granted.
No.
Okay. Speaking of, we asked for questions, and I pass over to Tracey because she's got the questions. Go,
Yeah.
Tracey.
So James Naylor, sporting_Jim on X, said, which one is more likely? Alonso and Diaz leave and we sign second-rate replacements. Diaz leaves but we sign Alonso and sign a second-rate closer. Alonso leaves but we sign Diaz and sign a second-rate first baseman. Or the right answer, Alonso and Diaz re-sign it to multiple-year deals.
Oh.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I'll go first. I think it's classic Mets where I want it to be the last bit. Alonso and Diaz signed to multi-year deals, but I fear the first one. I think I fear the first one. About them both leaving, we signed second-rate replacements, especially as we're on maybe a bit of a bargain bin hunt potentially. Yeah. That could just be the cynic in the Mets cynic in me. I don't know.
Could that be why we signed Stearns, knowing that this was coming?
Could be.
Tor?
Oh no, Tom was going to go. I'll let you get your roll.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm not so sure on either of them. I think Pete's going to want more in length than the Mets are willing to go for. I think he's probably going to ask for a bit too much in length, and that might be a bit. I think the Mets know where their line in the sand is on this one, and I think they're not going to budge on it. So I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up somewhere else. Some reason I've got Mariners in my head. I wouldn't be surprised to see Pete at the Mariners.
Okay.
There's a very good shout on that one. There was a few people talking about Diaz to the Dodgers. I've seen that rumor doing the rounds. Again, it wouldn't surprise me. It's like we said before, it's the Dodgers. It wouldn't surprise me to see that happen. Doesn't mean I want it to happen. I just wouldn't be surprised. You can't rule anything out of the Dodgers and their weird deals that seem to get by everything and everyone. It's like the modern day version of the Atlanta Braves Foundation, where everyone seemed to be making donations.
all their team friendly deals.
Yeah. It's like the modern day version of that. But yeah, I'd love to keep Edwin. I think he is on his day the best closer in baseball. At the very worst, he's top 3. Pete, he's great. He's an icon for the team, and I'm sure they'll retire his jersey one day. But for me, I think he's got the record. If he's gonna take the mickey with what he wants, I say let him walk at this point. Thanks for your service. I don't think he's worth bending over backwards for, especially if we are worried about all the other positions that we need to fill as well. Because it's not just about those two. We've got other holes in the team that need filling. And you can't just revolve it around one person, no matter what he's historically done for the team. And that's feel free to shoot me down in the comments, obviously, but like that's where I'm at. Like, you know, thanks for your service. If you want to stay, great. Here's a team friendly deal. If you don't want to stay, I hear Seattle's nice. Yeah. Tor?
Yeah, the team friendly thing with Pete is kind of where I'm at. I think if the will is there, he has said he wants to stay. The Mets are going to want to keep him. I'm going to reiterate my feeling that we can do him probably 4 years-ish on the basis that there'll be 1 or 2 at first base and then the rest at DH. I think that works, and that gives us time to identify, nurture, work through, wait for a better first baseman to become available. My problem right now is, if not Pete, who? and that's my issue. And I think that Mets know that as well, and that's probably going to play in his favor a little bit, because right now there's nothing. Coming back a little bit to what you were saying about, you know, seeing more of the farm, that's not an accident, right? We've been working on our farm since Steve came in, and now we're going to start bearing the fruit of that. So we are going to start seeing some of the young lads come through, like we did towards the end of last year, but we're going to start seeing some of the position guys come through as well. And I think give it another year or two, and we're going to have more infielders that we can play with from the farm as well. So I would obviously, I want to see Pete back. I think if the will is genuinely there from him, then they'll work something out, because they know that his bat is there. However, we can get runs throughout the order. What we can't get is an Edwin Diaz. There is very, very few people that can replace Edwin Diaz. So for me, if you have to prioritize one of the, I said this on Twitter yesterday, day before, might be an unpopular opinion, but if you have to choose one, I want them both. Let's be clear. If I have to choose one, I'm going for Diaz, because there is not another. You can't consume what he does amongst the rest of the pitching staff. Whereas with Pete, amazing as he is, you can you get a bit more production on one or two of the bats, and you can kind of cover what Pete does, not in the same manner and not the same vibe that he's got, but it's much more, you can cover it a bit more easily. So that's my feeling. I want them both back. I fear that if Diaz gets offered something crazy from the Dodgers, who's going to refuse that? So my ultimate fear is that they both go, which is how I can see it going. But I think that Diaz is, unless we sign Kenny Jansen, replaceable.
Yeah. Just before we get Tracey's take, it's worth noting Pete is 30. I'm not quite convinced he's going to take a 4-year deal. I think he's going to be looking for his final deal. He's not going to be one that goes till he's 40. I don't think his body's going to let him with the amount of hitting he's done. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's asking for 6, 7, maybe even 8 years on this deal, just because of his age. And I think where he, like you said, if he's going to be moved to DH anyway, I think 4 is definitely not going to cut it when you factor in his age. Tracey,
yeah, it could be 4 with an option, perhaps.
I want to start off by saying, yes, I do want them both back. But if you go back to Stern's immediate post-season press conference, he said that he wants to focus on defense, basically.
Run prevention. How could we forget?
Yes. And he is great hitting. He won the Silver Slugger. He hasn't won a Golden Glove. And that, although Pete has got better at first base, there are still gaps in his defense, and I think that would be an easier hole to fill than, like Toria says, than Diaz's pitching. I think Tom's right. He's going to probably want 6+ years, but it's whether the team can afford long term to give him a deal like that with all the other bits we've got to fill in as well.
Yeah, I think it's also worth, when we're talking about that length as well, thinking about we've still got, how many years more of Lindor have we got? It's at least 4, maybe 5.
I think it's 5.
And then Soto's got like 200 years left on his. Nimmo's got a while on his deal. I think you run the risk, if you're going to give Pete 6 or 7 years, you're locking down a lot of players to long-term deals, and that never, as far as I can recall in my 10 years of watching baseball, it never works out well for teams if you've got too many players locked down to very long-term deals. But yeah, Tracey's done some Googling, I can see.
Yeah, 5 years left on Lindor 2031.
Yeah, so it's an interesting one. But yeah, loving the question from James. It's definitely got us talking. What do you think? Let us know. What's more likely, Alonso, Diaz? Obviously, everyone wants both, but like if you had to pick, which one are you picking? What's going on? Let us know in the comments. As always, let us know if you disagree with our takes as well. We love reading those too. Always makes us laugh. I've just seen. What was that?
What do we know?
What do we know? Exactly. What do we know? We know nothing. Speaking of knowing nothing, CJ has asked us about the golden toilet of Mr. Cohen. So this was a news story that broke about Steve Cohen has got a golden toilet from the same artist, if I remember this correctly from the article I read, an artist who gaffer taped a banana to a gallery wall has also made a gold toilet, which Steve Cohen owns. It's a fully functioning toilet. And he's selling it with the bidding opening at 10 million. That's all I know from the article. So hopefully that clears that up for you, CJ. I'm sure, you know, if you're in the market for a gold toilet, send Steve Cohen a DM.
You guys not got one? Is it? I thought everyone had one.
Yeah, but my downstairs toilet, you know, my guest one, only the best for my guests.
Yeah.
Tom, can you confirm?
It must be a Yorkshire thing because I don't have one.
No, I mean, can you confirm Toria's downstairs loo?
Oh, it's not somewhere I've been, so I can't come.
No, actually, it goes to waste in there because literally no one uses my downstairs bathroom. I forget it's there most of the time, which is why the golden toilet's there.
If I come around, that's what I'm making a beeline for.
It's the best place if no one knows it's there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Even I forget that it's there. It's actually currently full of empty boxes.
I wondered where that sentence was going.
Jesus. Do you want another question, guys? Do you want a question from me?
Yeah, there's another question.
It's not necessarily Mets related because the right answer isn't a Met person, but I saw it was going to be Manager of the Year tonight. The award is going to be given out, so I wondered who you thought might get it. Any idea? Any?
Oh, that's not. I thought it was 13th the awards.
I'm going to find out there. I'd go Blue Jays. Blue Jays manager.
Yeah, John Schneider.
Yeah, that's who I'd choose.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's more of an achievement. I think if, you know, any one of us could have probably managed that Dodgers squad to some sort of World Series. No, I'm not like, come on, let's be real. Like they've stacked it to ridiculous levels. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's almost like a cheat code at this point, and it's. Yeah. I'm going to say like it's like I know there was some great games in the World Series because the Blue Jays really took it to
great
them.
Series.
Like, I'm sorry, but it just sucks the fun out of baseball watching them win again and again and again and again. It's just boring. Like
I'm not having that though for this series.
No. The only reason it wasn't boring is because of the Blue Jays being able to take it to them. But the Dodgers are boring. They are boring to watch.
I'm gonna say outside shout for manager of the year, Dan Wilson of the Mariners, and they had an exceptional year. But I would be very happy to see Schneider win it. I can never pronounce his name correctly. Blue Jays. I think that they should, and I think that. You know, they entertained the world. That World Series, considering I was watching none of it until it got to championship winning games. That series was so good and so much fun, and you know, competitive all the way. It was a great World Series. I'd just rather it weren't the damn Dodgers.
Yeah. Yep.
And I wanted to be able to get behind the National League team, but I just couldn't do it. I can't do it. I can never do. We all know this, right? Dodgers and Giants can't do it, and not just because the Dodgers win everything, but
yeah.
I think that was interesting with that Dodgers win, though. I don't know if any of you saw this was like reshared, but at the start of 2024, MLB put out a tweet where
Okay.
I'll dig it up and I'll add it to the show. I'll tag it onto the tweet if I can find it. Where basically they predicted the next 10 World Series winners.
One of those, yeah.
Oh.
And they predicted that the 2025 World Series, the Dodgers would beat the Blue Jays.
Whoa.
It was like January
they've-
2024 that they put this tweet out.
They've got their own Mystic Meg.
The
I don't want to
reason I'm
mention
bringing this
betting,
up,
but I might put some money on that.
Oh.
they predicted that the 2026 World Series, the Mets will beat the Yankees.
Oh.
Oh, I will take that right
We
now.
might as well just
Yeah.
stop podding now. We know what's going to happen. What's the point?
Tasty. That would be great.
MLB is rigged, and not because of pitchers throwing dodgy pitches.
Oh.
Too soon.
It's not too soon.
Let's not.
No. I know.
They'll be fine. They've got a translator they can blame. Oh wait,
No, they don't. That's the problem.
Quick, Tracy,
But-
say something different.
Yes. We are on the countdown to winter meetings as well.
Yes.
So with everything going on with the upcoming CBA, with the interesting free agents, it should be quite an interesting meet.
Mm.
It's the second week of December in Orlando this year. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
should be interesting,
Yeah. I
especially
always
the
enjoy seeing the
personalities that are going to be there.
Yeah, enjoy seeing what comes out of winter meetings. It's, there's a lot that goes on over that time, a lot of in-person discussions and, you know, kind of backroom
Wheeling and dealing.
chats. Yeah, exactly. But it's also where you start to hear about some of the feelings about CBAs and rules coming in for next year and those kind of things. So it'll certainly be an interesting time. Speaking of counting down, almost spring training. We have a spring training schedule. People, imagine how excited I got when I saw a spring training schedule.
Yeah, I can.
135 days to home opener. Not that I'm
Not that you're counting.
I
No,
absolutely.
not that you're counting. Do you think we're going to see robo umps in the bigs next year?
Yes. Well, balls and strikes.
or at least the
The
head
ABS.
pads.
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, totally. 100%.
Only if they're actual robots. I want to see proper robots.
Yeah. I've
Dressed
got
up in like
visions.
the outfits and everything.
Yeah.
Is that behind
I've
you?
got visions of, like the robot from iRobot. Like
See?
that in the umps blacks.
Oh no, you see,
Don't play.
I was going old school and thinking Johnny Five.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think the name of. Johnny
Yeah.
Five Strike.
Oh dear.
If you're too young for Short Circuit, look it up. It's classic.
Think the rule
Yeah.
book. Think how quickly you'd read the rule book.
We do have some more guest pods upcoming as well. No spoilers, but there's some interesting characters. If there's anyone you'd like us to try and target, the worst they can do is say no.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
let us know
suggestions.
in the comments who you'd like us to try and go for. Tag them.
Yes.
Tag them.
Thank them and tell them they have to come and talk to us.
Yes,
Because you want to hear from them.
because we're nice.
We are. But I mean, sorry, Howie's just, he's ruined the guest series for everyone else already this year.
Yeah,
Sorry, you're
sorry.
following Harry.
It's Howie. It was wonderful. Not that he'll be listening, but thank you again, Howie, because we very much enjoyed last week, as did the listeners. In fact, I got a private message one day during the week, someone who listened a few days later and just said, "This Howie podcast is the pep I didn't realise I needed today." And I was just like,
Aw.
I know.
Yeah, we've had some really lovely messages, and don't forget you can catch that podcast and all our other podcasts that featured guests from last season on our YouTube playlist.
Yes, well worth a check out. Okay, so we will bring things to a close. Obviously, as is tradition with this, you're welcome. There's going to be some sort of Met signing or breaking news once we stop recording. It always happens. Like,
Yes.
oh, let's save up, guys. Let's talk about everything in one big pod, and we'll press end recording. And within an hour, breaking news: Mets have signed Scubal or something like that, and you're just like, come on.
I mean, I'll take
Yeah.
it.
I'll take
when it
it.
happens,
Yeah.
you've got us to thank for it.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to say we'll be back next week, but I don't know when we'll be back. It depends on guests and other things. So we will be back, but keep an eye on our socials. We'll let you know when the next pod is. As is always the case, if you've got questions you want us to discuss, drop them in. It's the best way to get on the show.
Drop us a load of questions, and then we'll just have a whole show of questions.
Q&A. Yeah.
Except I won't be around next week, but you guys can handle a boatload of questions.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Okay, if you've made it this far, well done. Congratulations.
Medals in
like,
the post.
Comment, all that good stuff. We'll see you on the next one. And all that leaves us to say is...
Let's go Mets!
Yeah, let's go Mets.